Look, I know some of you are already typing your defenses in the comments, but hear me out because what happened on SmackDown this past Friday wasn't just another match, it was a calculated slap in the face to every single fan who's been begging for fresh storylines and credible champions. Charlotte Flair defeating Asuka to win the Wargames advantage? Really, WWE? Really? Let me paint you the picture of what went down, and you tell me if I'm overreacting, because honestly, after watching this, I don't think I am. The bell rings. Charlotte and Asuka lock up in what should have been a monumental showdown. The Empress of Tomorrow versus the Queen. On paper, this match had everything: two of the most decorated women in WWE history, a stakes-filled stipulation with Wargames implications, and a SmackDown crowd that was absolutely electric. But here's where things get infuriating. For 15 minutes, Asuka dominated. I'm talking dominated. She hit Charlotte with everything in her arsenal: the hip attacks, the running knees, those devastating kicks that have put away legends. The crowd was on their feet, chanting Asuka, Asuka, because finally, it seemed like WWE was going to do the right thing and give the Empress her moment back in the spotlight. Quick question for you guys: when was the last time Asuka got a clean, decisive win over a top-tier opponent on the main roster? Drop your answers in the comments because I genuinely can't remember. But then, in classic WWE fashion, Charlotte starts her comeback. And look, I respect Charlotte's talent, nobody can deny she's skilled in that ring. But here's what makes my blood boil: the way WWE books her. She doesn't need to earn victories anymore. She just gets them because she's Charlotte Flair. The finishing sequence was absurdly predictable. Asuka goes for the Asuka lock, the same submission that's made superstars tap out, the same hold that should be treated as one of the most dangerous moves in women's wrestling. Charlotte's in the middle of the ring. No ropes nearby. She's fading. The referee is checking her arm, and for a split second, you can feel the hope in the arena. The crowd believes this is it. But no. Charlotte, with apparently superhuman strength that nobody else in the women's division possesses, powers out. She reverses into a backbreaker, then another, then hits natural selection out of nowhere, and pins Asuka. 1, 2, 3. Match over. Wargames advantage goes to Charlotte's team. The crowd? Stunned silence followed by boos. And can you blame them? Here's why this is so much worse than just another Charlotte win. Wargames is supposed to be the ultimate team warfare match. It's about strategy, unity, and earning your advantage through grueling competition. By giving Charlotte this win, WWE is essentially saying that one person is more important than the entire narrative they've been building for weeks. Think about what this does to Asuka's credibility. This is a woman who was undefeated for over 900 days in NXT and on the main roster. She's a former SmackDown Women's Champion, former Raw Women's Champion, and a Grand Slam champion. She's literally accomplished everything there is to accomplish in WWE. But in 2025, she's being used as a stepping stone to make Charlotte Flair look strong. Again, here's another question for the comment section: how many times has Charlotte beaten Asuka in big match situations? Seriously, count them up and let me know because I've lost track. And let's talk about the math here, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Charlotte Flair is already a 14-time women's champion. 14. She's tied with her father's record. And there's no doubt WWE is saving that record-breaking 15th title reign for some historic moment that they'll shove down our throats as the greatest achievement in wrestling history. But here's the problem: when you're already at the top of the mountain, when you've already won everything multiple times over, what story is there left to tell by beating everyone else? The answer should be none. Charlotte should be in the position where she's helping elevate new talent, where she's putting people over and creating the next generation of stars. Instead, she's still collecting wins like they are Pokemon cards, and it's damaging the entire women's division in the process. Now, I can already hear the Charlotte defenders typing furiously: she's a heel. You're supposed to hate her. This is good booking because it makes you angry. And to that, I say, there's a difference between good heel heat and go away heat. Good heel heat makes you want to see the babyface get their revenge and overcome the odds. Go away heat makes you literally change the channel because you're tired of seeing the same person win over and over again with no consequences. What WWE doesn't seem to understand is that we're not living in the 1980s anymore. We don't need to protect one person at the expense of everyone else. The women's division is stacked with talent right now. You've got Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bayley, and yes, Asuka, all capable of carrying major storylines and delivering incredible matches. But instead of spreading the spotlight around and creating multiple stars, WWE keeps funneling everything back to Charlotte. Pop quiz time: if you could book this match, who would you have had win and why? I want detailed answers in the comments. Let's examine the aftermath of this decision. Charlotte now has the Wargames advantage, which means her team gets the extra member and starts with the numbers game. Psychologically, this positions her as the leader and the MVP of her entire squad before the match even begins. Meanwhile, Asuka is left looking like just another name on Charlotte's resume, someone who came close but ultimately couldn't get the job done when it mattered most. This booking pattern has been going on 4 years, and it's exhausting. Remember when Asuka's undefeated streak ended at WrestleMania 34? Who beat her? Charlotte. Remember when Asuka finally won the SmackDown Women's Championship in 2020, and it felt like she was going to get a legitimate run? Who took the title from her in questionable fashion? Charlotte. Seeing a pattern here? The most frustrating part is that this match didn't need this finish. There were so many creative ways WWE could have booked this to make both women look strong. Charlotte could have won with massive interference, making it clear she needed help to overcome Asuka. That would have maintained Asuka's credibility while still giving Charlotte the victory. Or better yet, Asuka could have actually won, giving her team the advantage and setting up a redemption story for Charlotte going into Wargames where she has to overcome the odds for once in her career. But nope, clean finish. Charlotte wins. Asuka loses. Story over. Move along, nothing to see here. The commentary team tried their best to sell this as a competitive match where both women gave it their all, but even they seemed deflated by the finish. You could hear it in their voices, that resigned acceptance that this was always going to be the outcome because it's Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair doesn't lose matches that matter. Final question for you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how frustrated are you with Charlotte's booking in 2025? And what would you do to fix it? Here's what really gets under my skin. WWE has all the data. They can see the social media reactions. They can hear the live crowds. They know a significant portion of the fanbase is tired of this Charlotte Flair dominance, yet they keep doing it anyway. It's like they are actively choosing to ignore what their audience is telling them because they are convinced they know better. And maybe, just maybe, there's a long-term story here that we're not seeing yet. Maybe Charlotte is winning all these matches so that when someone finally beats her clean in the middle of the ring, it'll be this massive, career-defining moment. But here's the problem with that theory: they've tried that before, multiple times, and it never works out because they always revert back to making Charlotte look unstoppable. The Wargames match itself is now compromised before it even starts. We know Charlotte's team has the advantage. We know Charlotte is being positioned as the star of the match. And if history is any indication, Charlotte's team will probably win. Charlotte will get the decisive elimination, and we'll be right back where we started, watching Charlotte Flair stand tall while everyone else is left scrambling for scraps. This isn't just about one match on one episode of SmackDown. This is about a systemic problem in how WWE books their top stars. When you make one person so dominant that they never face real consequences, never truly struggle, and never actually need to evolve or grow, you're not creating a star, you're creating a black hole that sucks all the interest out of the division. Asuka deserved better. The fans deserve better. And honestly, Charlotte deserves better too, because this kind of booking is eventually going to turn even her most loyal supporters against her. So there you have it, my complete breakdown of why Charlotte Flair beating Asuka